Your dog has a bed of their own. It might be soft, clean, warm. Maybe you even picked the perfect spot for it. Somewhere quiet, somewhere cozy, somewhere you were sure they would love. And still, when the house finally goes still, when the lights are off, when the last sound of the day fades out, they leave that bed behind and come looking for yours. Sometimes they curl up by your feet. Sometimes they wedge themselves against your leg. Sometimes they somehow become 3 times bigger at 2 in the morning and take almost the whole mattress like they pay rent. Most people just laugh. They call their dogs spoiled, or clingy, or say they just like the bed more. But that moment usually means more than people think it does. Dogs do not move through the night the way we do. For us, nighttime feels like the day shutting down. For a dog, nighttime changes the emotional feel of the whole house. The sounds shift. Movement disappears. The rooms feel different. The social group settles. And all at once, where they choose to rest starts to matter in a way it did not seem to matter an hour earlier. That choice is almost never random. A lot of people assume their dog is making the simplest possible decision. Soft bed, warm person, that's it. But dogs are not always choosing the softest place. A lot of the time, they are choosing the place their nervous system trusts the most, and those are not always the same place. A dog can have a perfectly comfortable bed and still relax more deeply beside you than they ever could on it. That is the part people miss. At night, many dogs are looking for something even more specific than comfort. They are looking for an anchor, something familiar enough that their body can stop checking, stop tracking. Stop quietly monitoring every little change in the environment. Your scent, your breathing, the little shifts you make when you roll over, the pattern of your body just existing beside them. Those things matter more than they seem to. Dogs build maps of the home, but not only physical maps. Not just where the walls are, not just where the food is, not just where the doors open and close. They build emotional maps too. They learn which room feels busy, which one feels calm, which doorway carries outside tension, which corner feels tucked away, which part of the house makes it easier to let their body soften. And for a lot of dogs, the strongest feeling of safety in that entire map is tied to one presence: you. That is one reason a dog may leave their own bed and choose yours night after night. Not because their bed is wrong, not because they are trying to be difficult, but because your bed holds the densest version of the thing that helps them settle the fastest. You are there. Your scent is there. Your routine is there. Your body is there. And for a deeply social animal, those signals can matter more than the bed itself. This happens a lot in dogs who are strongly bonded to one person. That does not always mean anxious. It does not always mean overly dependent. It does not always mean unhealthy attachment. Sometimes it simply means their body has learned very clearly that one familiar nervous system makes rest easier. There is a real difference between dependency and regulation, and people mix those two up all the time. A dependent dog falls apart without access. A regulated dog settles more easily with access. That is not the same thing. Many dogs who sleep beside their owners are not saying, "I can't cope without you." What they are saying is quieter than that. They are saying, "This is the place where I can finally loosen my grip." That is a very different message. And once that clicks, the behavior stops looking like a cute little habit. It starts looking like trust. There is another layer here that makes it even more interesting. A dog does not only choose whether to sleep near you, they choose how near. And that detail carries meaning. Some dogs sleep pressed tight against your body. Some curl up by your feet. Some stay at the edge of the bed, facing the room. Some drift between the bed and the doorway during the night. Some start out close, wander off for a while, then come back before morning like they were never truly done checking in. A lot of owners see all of that and file it under the same category: dog sleeping near me. But it is not all the same. A dog pressed against your side may be looking for maximum contact and reassurance. A dog at your feet may want closeness, but still prefer a little space of their own. A dog facing the room or facing the door may be doing something very familiar to dogs: resting, while still staying lightly tuned into the environment. That does not mean they are standing guard in some dramatic, heroic way. Usually, it is much quieter than that. It simply means their body prefers to sleep without fully switching off its awareness of the space around them. Dogs are incredibly good at partial awareness. Even while resting, many of them are still reading the emotional weather of the home. That is why sleep position matters. It tells you not just that your dog wants to be near you, it tells you what kind of nearness feels best to them. And that part is deeply individual. Some dogs want full contact. Some want shared space. Some want a little distance with easy access back to you whenever they need it. All of those can be healthy ways of attaching. There is also a reason so many dogs choose the human bed specifically, instead of just choosing the same room. Your bed is not only where you sleep, it is one of the strongest routine signals in the entire house. Dogs are creatures of pattern. They learn the meaning of spaces through repetition. The kitchen means food. The front door means departure or return. The leash means movement. And the bed means the day is finally closing down. That matters more than most people realize. When your dog climbs onto your bed, they may be stepping into the most predictable part of the entire day. No guests arriving, no loud appliance sounds, no sudden interruptions, no choices to make, no stimulation to process. Just your familiar body, your familiar scent, your familiar rhythm. To a dog, that can feel like the safest emotional checkpoint in the house. And that may be why some dogs who seem restless all evening become calm almost the moment the bedtime routine begins. You brush your teeth, you dim the lights, you get into bed. And the dog who was pacing, wandering, or hovering suddenly settles. That is not random. Your routine is helping regulate them. In that moment, you are not just their favorite person. You are part of the sequence their body trusts, part of the pattern that tells their system, you can let go now. That is a powerful role to play in another living creature's life. And it may explain why some dogs will choose a crowded mattress over a spacious dog bed every single time. It is not really about space. It is about meaning. Now, of course, not every dog sleeps beside their person for exactly the same reason. Some really do enjoy the warmth. Some genuinely love soft surfaces. Some have simply learned the routine and now expect it every night. That is all true. But even then, physical comfort is usually only one piece of the picture. The deeper layer is often emotional predictability. Dogs are social sleepers. They rest more easily where the social world feels stable. And if your presence is what makes that stability easiest to feel, then your bed becomes more than furniture. It becomes a signal, a very quiet one. It says, the group is together. Nothing important is shifting. You do not have to keep scanning now. And that may be the deepest reason of all. Sleep only comes easily when the body stops scanning for danger. And many dogs stop scanning sooner when they are near the person they trust most. Here is something else owners almost never think about. Sometimes, a dog does not actually want the bed. They want access to your nighttime world. That is why some dogs sleep on the floor right beside your side of the bed instead of climbing up. They still want your scent, your breathing, your presence, the continuity of being close. They just do not want the heat, the movement, or the crowded feeling of sharing the mattress itself. That matters because it reminds us of something simple and important. Closeness is not one size fits all. A dog sleeping on the floor beside your bed may be just as bonded as a dog sleeping against your ribs. The form looks different. The meaning can be remarkably similar, and this is exactly why it helps to be careful with your own interpretation. Not every dog who sleeps beside you is needy. Not every dog who prefers their own bed is emotionally distant. Not every dog who changes sleep spots is suddenly rejecting you. Context matters. Age matters. Pain matters. Temperature matters. Stress matters. Changes in the home matter. And that brings us to the part that is worth paying real attention to. If your dog has slept near you for a long time and then suddenly changes that pattern, notice it. Do not panic, but do notice it. A dog who suddenly stops jumping onto the bed may be uncomfortable. A dog who keeps leaving through the night may be too hot, restless, or unsettled. A dog who suddenly starts sleeping much closer than usual may be responding to stress, insecurity, change, or something in the household that feels different to them, even if it feels small to you. Dogs often speak through changed routines before they ever show obvious signs of distress. And sleep routines are one of the clearest places where that shows up. Night strips everything down. There are fewer distractions, fewer extra behaviors, fewer ways to hide what the body is really doing. So where your dog settles at night often tells the truth. Not the social truth, not the cute version, the real truth about what their body needs most in order to rest. And sometimes that truth is beautifully simple. Not luxury, not extra room, not even the nicest bed in the house. Just the place where it feels easiest to exhale. Sometimes that place is next to you. So the next time your dog ignores their own bed and chooses yours again, do not reduce it too quickly to habit, stubbornness, or mattress preference. You may be looking at something much quieter than that. A dog choosing the place where their breathing slows down the fastest. The place where vigilance softens. The place where the world feels most familiar. The place where they do not have to hold themselves together quite so tightly. And for a lot of dogs, that place is not defined by the fabric, the cushion, or the shape of the bed. It is defined by the person already lying there. If this changed the way you see your dog, tell me where your dog sleeps most nights. On the bed, beside the bed, by the door, in the hallway, somewhere completely unexpected. Once you start paying attention to where your dog chooses to rest, you start learning something most people miss. You start learning what safety feels like from your dog's side.